Welcome to Long Story Short. This is episode 89 on Nearing Nirvana.
Man, heading towards 100 real quick.
So we did some degenerate shit on the 69th episode. So what's going to happen for the 100th?
I don't know, man. I haven't thought that far ahead yet, but we can take some ideas from the chat and see what they want us to do. If we get there, we take one show at a time here at Long Story Short. So
nothing is guaranteed.
That's damn right, man. That's damn right. We got tonight.
It's going to be nothing but bangers of issue 100s. Our 100th anniversary covers or anything like that.
Oh my god, 100 books in one night. It'd be the gauntlet.
Only books that are 100 years old.
Yeah.
Oh,
Doing 100 books, that would be like long story long.
Longer story long.
Yeah. That wouldn't be very short, but
Yeah.
it would just be long story.
But yes, we want to thank our sponsors over at Cover Price. So make sure you're using the code Nirvana14 for a 30-day unlimited membership for only 99 cents. They will be having a panel over at San Diego Comic-Con next week.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. So
Nice.
the discussion is varying age. Is it time for a new comic era?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Long overdue.
Yeah.
Comic
So-
era should have happened back in 2012 at least.
Yeah, I was
Right.
going to say 10. 10 probably should have been the break point, roughly, right? Right around there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, because like name another comic age that's lasted longer than 30 years.
Yeah, people got lazy, man. People got
Yeah.
lazy. It's all-
We
It's-
need to
you-
retroactively assign ages now. So from like-
Right. So it's funny, like John from Cover Price and I were having this discussion on the Cover Price YouTube channel. So shout out I see a few familiar names from the chat that watch over there as well. So we kind of had that discussion. I was like well, anything that's currently coming out should still be called modern. It's easier to look back from stuff from like the 90s and onwards to kind of like break up that time period and name it
100%.
something.
I mean, like CGC grading books and saying white pages instead of modern pages, like that just blows my mind. So like, it's almost like if it's not broken, we don't need to do anything about it, and it's just like it clear, by calling it the modern age or the variant age or the bronze age, it capsulizes, that time period, right? Because otherwise, like, then why continue on saying this is bronze age or this is silver or golden? Like, why bother if we're not going to continue on what they've already set up,
Yeah, no, totally. We just got to go back retroactively, pick a new age for the last 15 years and then go forward with the modern, for sure.
Ooh, extend the Copper Age until 2005 and dub the current age the Cinematic Age.
See, I like that, the cinematic age.
But I mean, I think there's different things that have happened within the comic industry that you can reflect back, right? So like, I was jokingly calling the 90s the age of printing because like the high print runs and stuff like that. You could name stuff like, because I know like in the 2000s, what CGC started grading books, you could name that the age of slabs or whatever until like sometime in the mid 2000s, like 2010, 2012 or whatever. You can name that the age of plastic, right? And then anything that's currently coming out, just leave it as modern. Like, I don't think you should change that just because it's
The slab age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slabbage.
Age of plastic, right?
Or the Mylar age.
Yeah. But our other sponsors will also be at San Diego. So Ant from Bird City Comics will be there. And
Go seek them out.
yeah, and I heard the Little Bird will be there too as well. Adam.
Nice.
Yeah, he's taking over the Whatnot.
Yeah, so he does really good. So I'm gonna have to see how much it costs to hire him to run and get my numbers boosted.
He's
Matt.
very bright. He's very bright. He's
Oh,
already
dude,
he's already a killer, man.
he's like his father, a hustler. Yeah.
I know.
All
So
right, before we
Adam
get-
and the ants.
Well played, Carter. All right, real quick,
What book is that?
We're gonna give this away. This is a Chrissy Zulos artist exclusive. So she has her own books now. This is courtesy of our friends at the Holocomics in Westboro, Massachusetts. It's my LCS. They said, hey, she sent us one of these. It's autographed by Chrissy over here.
That is nice.
Right? Beautiful
Nice.
cover, got bubble gum on it. What else can you ask?
Yeah.
So all you got to do is leave a comment on the video, not in the chat, but on the rewind, and we will draw this not next week because we're taking the week off for SDCC, but the week after that. But a beautiful book. So if you're interested, please just let us know something in the video chat, and you'll be entered to win.
Who's got their tickets to Deadpool, man?
I got the tickets.
Hold up. That's next week, ain't it?
Yeah, it
It
is.
is, yeah.
Crap.
Next Thursday, bro.
I got to get on the ball.
Where have you been, Carter? You had all
I-
month about.
Man, time be flying.
I know. Like, I was like, okay, I still have like another week to prepare and do a bunch of stuff, and I was like, kind of like, oh, my flight is Tuesday.
And the Russos are coming back, bro.
Bring it, man. Let's go.
Yeah.
Maybe we're back to the good old days.
What I had to make sure I was super busy the week before San Diego too. Like, I'm on call this week. I had a show yesterday. Like, yeah. So,
Chad, bring it. Come on, nerds. Come on, let's go. Knuckle up.
I mean, you can't wear these glasses unless you are a nerd, right?
Yeah, that's true.
All right. So, anyways,
Let's
normal
go.
disclaimer: pay the highest price you can on eBay. Set the market. Make sure we're talking about it. Like, boom. There you
Yeah,
go.
man.
Spend all your money. Like, let me go to San Diego instead of you going.
If you don't know by now, man, hunt smartly. That's all. That's all the show is about. Go out and hunt for books. We're just giving you some ideas to help you on the hunt. All right. Let's get into this list because we got some crazy stuff to talk about tonight. Spicy Western Stories #1. This is by Culture Publishing from 1936. This is very this is a pulp. So let's go. This is a pulp,
It's a pulp.
which is a precursor to comic books, but a painted cover. These Spicy Western Stories, all the covers were this vibe. But what I found super interesting about this cover in particular, so hold on to your hats because we're going to break some news here tonight, is that if you go to the next one, Aaron, they released a variant in 1936 because it was too racy. So there's two versions of this cover. So people say that Superman book's the first variant. I say no. This is the first variant. Her pants are a bit more on in this.
Ooh,
Let's see the previous version.
stirring the pot, huh?
Oh, wow.
Ah.
Oh, wow.
And they put a star in the upper right-hand corner of the variant. So if you go to the next one, Aaron, you'll notice up by the price tag, there's a star up there.
By the November.
That guy right. This is the other one was too risque.
Uh-oh.
That's the first retailer incentive, bro.
I don't know if they'll go that far, but they made two versions of this cover.
That is crazy. How did
1936.
you find this, man?
Dude, I don't know, dude. Like I end up looking at shit and I don't know, man. This stuff finds me. I feel like this shit finds me.
So,
zero.
So
for
it wasn't
two.
recalled or anything, right? It was just
No, they just made two
an
versions
alternate
of it.
cover.
okay, so it was just made with two versions originally.
Made with
right
two
off-
versions of it.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, because the way you first presented it, it made it sound like that the first cover was too racy, and that they had to release this
No.
cover.
There's just two covers. There's two versions of
Is
it.
there like a what's the more expensive one, the racy one or
Dude, there's
the?
not enough of these to even know. That's the problem.
That is nuts.
There's not even enough to know.
And it's a pulp too, which makes it
Who's
really
the
interesting.
artist?
Once again, 36, dude. They weren't crediting anybody back
Stuart Adams. Who is that?
then. I mean, I couldn't find any information on it. You. So that's my new nickname, Truffle Pig.
Truffle Pig. When I was in Rimini, in Italy, you know, people get in trouble for trying to steal truffle. Man, it's like no questions asked. Your ass is in the cellar, man.
So, anyways, man, tonight we broke some history on this show. When people ask you what's the first variant, it's not that Superman Man of Steel book.
Spicy Western.
Is Spicy Westerns #1 from 1936. Heard it here first.
That's a good cover too, man. I mean,
yeah,
you'd buy that, right? If you're out digging at a con.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But all of these are cool. Like all the covers from this entire run are really cool. Every damn one of them.
Yes, I'm looking at them right now, and holy crap! Holy crap!
Man, this shit's gonna be on Key Collector tomorrow morning, man.
Do they have a pulp section?
I think they are starting to list some of them.
Yeah. So everyone needs to start off right off the bat with O and 2 because I doubt anyone has either or.
Yeah. Right. It's a double whammy. We got 2 books in.
It's 2 different books technically, right? I mean, like cover wise.
I noticed any pulp with spicy in the title.
There's Spicy Adventures. There's a few different
spicy stories.
They're all good. They're all from that same general era, like the 30s.
It's all tits and ass.
Can I say something? When did Mercer not become Marvin Gaye over here, bro?
Yo, I found my dad's old blue.
Dude, those are like the coolest shades, bro.
Are those the original blue blockers, like from the commercial, like back in the 90s? The original blue blockers.
I swear, I think these might be version 2.
Okay,
bro, those are like, bro.
So I'm like,
just put a couple of diamonds in there, bro.
I know everybody's wearing like the blue blocking shades for the screen. So I'm like, yeah, they're on hand. So let me wear them.
Nice. I should look into that because I definitely stare at a screen all day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, they sell them like at Best Buy. I've seen them to protect your eyes against.
But wearing glasses too on top of that. So I never want to be in a situation of wearing double pairs of glasses. Like
I know, right?
Yeah, like I hate having to wear safety glasses because like especially with these frames, like they don't fit over it. So I either just like don't wear safety glasses or I don't wear glasses. So it's like, do I want to see or do I want to protect my eyes? Like there's no winning. But also, I mean, you got to wear your sunglasses at night too, right?
Yes.
All right.
I got that book. I got that. No, I had that book. I think I forget. But
sorry. Yeah, just pointing this one out. Millie the Model #12. I was poking around, and there's so many ice skating covers from this era. It carried over to the Archies, but it's either like beach covers and there's ice skating, because I guess there's nothing else to do in the winter than go ice skating, right? I assume that's why they're so prevalent. But anyways, this one caught my eye. I thought it was pretty clever. This is a Dave Berg cover. A 7.0 sold last year for $620. Only 12 of these on the census, but the Millie the Model books, I don't know, I dig them. I really do like them, and this one I just thought was fun.
It's Stan Lee, right? Stan Lee did these.
He wrote a bunch of this stuff. Yes, I assume he wrote. I didn't check, but I would almost guarantee he wrote.
Yeah, the early stuff he did. I know that.
Well, do you think like snow and ski covers and ice skating covers are popular because of like parts of the country are cold all the time?
I just think that like people, this is what they were doing in the winter, right? I mean, ice skating was, you didn't need a lot of money to do it. You just needed a pair of skates, I think, is what people did, in those times. So it was just a relatable activity. But there's so many of them. I mean, unbelievable. We've covered a few on the show before, but anyways, this one was just sharp. You had this, Carter?
I did have it, and I believe I sold it. It was a beat.
Any
It was
idea
a
what you
beater.
got for it? You remember?
It was a beater.
Yeah.
I forget specifically, but I was happy with the price.
Yeah.
I'm pressing a bunch of Millie the models for a clutch, and
Nice.
I think there's another figure. I'll take a picture. I think there's a different one, a different figure skater.
Yeah, there absolutely is. In this run, there absolutely is more ice skate covers. But JC, hey, comic stuff says H.J. Ward was the artist in that Spicy West.
Ah, nice.
I looked around, I couldn't see anything, but that is good to know. Much appreciated, bro. Hope all is well.
He thinks.
Oh man, come on! You know you nailed it. Don't be like Yee. I could be wrong when Yee's always right.
Do I do that?
When Yee asks a question, he already knows the answer.
He's a lawyer.
It's because I'm not 100% sure. I just want someone else to confirm. That's all it is. I guess I need more confidence and just be cocky about it. Be like, yeah, I'm right. What's up?
You know I'm right.
All right, this one's for you, Joe. Charizard #1. So this is the second series. Now, we've talked about this book before. There was 2 versions of it from the original series. But Campbell, they re-released all of these in minimal trade dress when they released the second series in 2015. So the first one came out in 2013. These came out in 2015. So this was a 1 in 8 variant. And it's hard as hell to find this version.
I thought I had all of them, dude.
Yeah, well, so this one is like a little muted. And I've never got hands on this one. But a 9.8 sold, and I didn't put the damn price. I just put when, so that's pretty bad. It was cheap. It was like $100, I want to say. In September of 2020, no, 9.8 in 2020, but only 11 on the census, which is really low for a Campbell. But this version of the cover is tough to come by. They did two different variants of the same art on, like I said, the prior series, and he did a variant on all of the covers from that prior series. And I believe they created like this minimal trade dress version for all of those for the second series. But this one's kind of a ghost.
Wow, they've got an art print online for $44, but it's not signed by Campbell.
It's just a print, though. It's not the comic.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be a problem getting. Damn it.
Part of my fun on the show is just to get Joe worked up over comic books.
But you know, it's like Campbell like does these obscure like 1 in 8 variant. When you like, what the hell, bro?
But Joe, you're gonna find this like 5 months from now for like $1.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, I asked Clutch because he's doing a show with Campbell on next Saturday.
Oh
I said, dude, tell him to say mama. I will lose my shit if he does that, dude. Man,
That'd be hilarious.
I will play that. I will have that as my ringtone, bro.
You're gonna loop that video over and over again, and then
right.
Yep.
It's all right.
All right, let's keep the show going. We got a lot of books to cover today.
You know what? It didn't go for that much.
That was the best offer.
Dude, it went for $6 after 6 bids on July 7th.
Auctions right now, man. You can snipe some crazy stuff right now on auctions.
Yeah, and it came from Canada.
So that $20 shipping probably deterred a lot of people.
Exactly.
But then at the same time, right? That $20, like you probably should have been paying $20 for this book.
Yeah,
and $8 in shipping. I mean, I think that's the way that people should view Canadian auctions in that sense, right?
The shipping is the buy price, and then you're bidding on the shipping.
Right, exactly.
That's right. Never thought about it like that. That's true.
Yeah. Just saying. Or don't take my advice and let me keep on buying Canadian books. So.
Yeah, to be point, like these books are harder to get hands on, but you shouldn't pay crazy money for them. But we've covered these very early on in the show, like the first week or two, and they're all very collectible. So, all right, this book I stumbled across looking at the other one. It's kind of popped up. I hadn't seen it before, but we talked about Paul Green on the show many times. This was a Kickstarter that he did, limited to 100 books. So Charizard Side Quests Kickstarter by Paul Green, limited to 100. This thing's going to be a ghost. But anyways, I hadn't seen it, and I know people love Paul Green. I was not familiar with this book.
Dude, he's got a lot of secret books. Like they just pop out and they go, when did this come out? No, he did this in 2016. And it's just like, wow, man.
Yeah, I mean, some of the Zenescope limited books go for crazy money. Crazy. He's almost exclusive to Zenescope. Almost. But some of them can go for nuts money. I mean, we talked about that female Boba Fett, I forget the name of the book, that Big Leg was talking about years ago, that goes for bonkers money now. And they've reprinted like different variants of it. They don't do quite as well. But yeah, he's got a pretty popular
like those San Diego Comic-Con cosplay.
Yes, that's what it was. It was a San Diego Comic-Con book. I think that's right, Aaron. That's right.
Yeah, because I remember looking at those back in the day before I was on podcasting. I was like, I kind of like that, but at the same time, I don't really collect these types of books, so I was like, kind of like, I don't know if I want to go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah. Well, those cereal and candy covers that he does seem to be pretty collectible. They come in the boxes and everything. So, anyways, hadn't seen this one before. Just throwing it out there for people to keep an eye open for. If you're digging and you come across this for a fair price, it might not be the worst book to grab. All right. Like this. Let's talk about this book. Original Sin 5.1. This is a Dale Keown second print. So the first print and the second print are virtually identical, with the exception of you can see a little second print under the number 1 in the upper right-hand corner. This is an Angela cover. I think it's really well done. She's split up the middle, as you can see. But if you want the whole image, you just have to pick up issue 5.2. These second prints had super low orders, right? They weren't picked up on Comic-Con, which means there were, by estimates, less than 3,000 ordered. If you scan this book on eBay, to be clear, this book doesn't necessarily go for a lot. And this is the kind of book people give me shit for, collecting scarcity for scarcity's sake. And I say, yes, I do. And whatever, that's just what I like.
You tell them kiss your ass.
Yeah, man, like whatever. Like it doesn't have to have 45 first appearance in it. So, but I like hunting books like this, to be honest with you. And these second prints are kind of ghosts. Now, what I will say is that if you don't like the split image, and I can hear you, well, I've got a solution for you. If you go to the next book, you can get the trade paperback, and you get the full frontal of Angela without being split up the middle.
So you get the full frontal on this one,
huh? Which is a good looking cover. My question, though, for the audience is that belt? I mean, that seems like a big belt to be wearing without any pants.
Yeah, it must be holding something.
It's because it's someone else's belt. Wherever she was last night.
She's always wearing that belt, though. Every time you see her, she's rocking that giant belt.
Did she have that belt on Spawn number 9?
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure she's rocking it in her first, like Angela number 1. I think she's rocking that same belt.
I'm not seeing the belt on the first appearance. Well,
I think she might have picked up the belt when she joined Marvel. You know,
yeah.
no belt in the Image days, and then you come to Marvel, you gotta put a belt on that.
I'm seeing a belt, but not that big.
Yeah, it's a big belt, but not as big.
It's a skirt belt. It's going to be all the rage.
All right.
Why wasn't that the original cover? Jonathan's asking. I think because they could get double mileage out of it, right? They split her in half. They can, sell her twice, right? Sell the cover
Double
twice.
your money, double your fun. Yeah. So this is my pick. And 100%. So this is Belle Starr, Queen of Bandits, #1. So this is a David Michael Beck cover. And I saw this when I was digging last weekend. And I'm not gonna lie, I legit thought this was like maybe a lost Dave Stevens cover. I was like praying it was. You know what I mean? Maybe it's something that fell through the cracks nobody knew about. But that's not the case. But this cover is so beautiful. And on top of that, this book doesn't go for anything. This is a very cheap book. And on top of that, it turns out Belle Starr is actually a person.
Yeah, we were looking at it, and she was a Western actress, right? I mean, that was kind of her deal. I mean,
she actually lived in like Old West time, and she wasn't bad looking either. I'm not gonna say she was a sex pot as she's depicted here in the comic, but not bad looking.
I mean, she's good with the pistol, as we can clearly see. I mean, can you imagine if this was a lost Dave Stevens cover, like the insanity that would pursue around this thing?
I imagined it for a split second, and it blew my mind.
So she was the first Western Graham model. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah,
well, she was the model on the cover of the first book. We're tying them.
All right. Oh, did you want to say something else on this?
No, it just went for, I believe it only went for 2 issues, and I think this is the main book to get. And I got to look up more of David Michael Beck's art.
Yeah.
This is
interesting.
Very well.
I wonder.
I'm sure
what he's done.
Yeah, he probably has some sleeper covers that or covers that we're all familiar with, and then it's gonna be like, oh,
yeah, exactly.
All right. This is my favorite game to play. Let me know. Space Bandits #1. Is this or is this not a Planet Comics #1 homage? What say you guys?
Swipe. Like a cover swipe because it's a different angle.
Yeah, but an homage, the homage has been bastardized. It's not meant to be an exact replica, right? An homage is that it's inspired by, right? That you're paying homage to art. So I mean, I think it's 100% unquestionable homage. She's the girl in the back, has the gun pointing the other way. It's a space motorcycle, but curious what people say.
See, I always think of a homage as like kind of paying tribute to being in that same angle and all that. I mean, it doesn't have to be exact replica of like line for line, but it's still like within the realm of like.
I think it's just inspired by the original piece, right? I mean, this for me, they looked at that Planet Comics 1 and like they reimagined it, but it is 100% inspired by, for my money. I mean, just given how the girl in the back's facing, you got a space motorcycle. I can't see it in any other way, but I'm happy to be proven wrong. It seems like the chat has potentially different opinions.
I think it does. I think it's an homage. Has to be.
It would have to be similar to the original piece. Only 2 on the census. Time to send in my copy. I mean, I guess it makes sense too with the title, like Space Bandits and stuff like that. Like,
if you look up the definition of homage, like I said, because they fucking copied ASM 300 identically so many times, that is what the fucking industry thinks an homage is like a direct replica of that thing. But it's a much more of a you see something and you draw something that's inspired by it, right? You're paying tribute to it through the image. It's not line for line replica. But whatever. Our this hobby creates its own rules, so I'm happy to be proven wrong. So this is a Matteo Scalera cover A. They did several covers for this. This is the only one that has a space motorcycle like this on it. From Image 2019. 2 on the census. That's it. 2. Now, granted, this is not the kind of book everybody's sending in, obviously, so I wouldn't read much into that. But
unless you're Hector, right?
Did you say if this book went for anything or not?
Not really. I mean, I think people are asking like $8 to $10 for it, something like that.
Okay. Oh, I got another. This is another pick of mine. You know what? It's weird.
Popeye, dude.
It's demented Popeye.
Yeah.
So okay.
I was thinking of those Popeye covers that Leg was big on. Those incentives.
Dude, I so dig this. This is badass.
Well, okay, so this is Bela Lugosi's Tales from the Grave #2. It's a regular cover. It's not an incentive or anything like that. And Rick Baker cover. And this is, like I said, a demented Popeye. To me, this is the cover of the series. Outright.
Hands down.
I came across this cover when I was dollar digging last weekend. And it was funny because I accidentally passed this book up like a month ago at the same store, and then I was able to go back, and oddly it was still there. And this book goes for about, I'm gonna say about like 30 on a really, really good day.
I think it does better, man. People are asking $50-$55 for this book.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's going for that, but you can't find people asking less than that.
Yeah, and I had this book because I've talked about this book like years ago because I remember coming across the entire series, and like actually all the covers are pretty damn good, but this one is the standout,
big time.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Witchblade #80. This is a Frank Cho variant, homaging Venus in a Half Shell.
Oh man.
Now I want to point out a book like this, and I should have bought one, but these books that are limited to $250 that can be found reasonably by artists who are collectible strike me as the kind of books that should be gobbled up. Just a good looking book.
What?
Now there's some copies.
Yeah, they're out there. Are
there 250 copies out there?
Yeah. Hopefully there's less than that. If there's more, then we have a problem. But this is the kind of stuff that I like to go find, and I stumbled across this one recently. I didn't pull the trigger on it, but and I don't know why, because I love Frank Cho as much as anybody, but just a good looking comic book.
Oh, okay, so it's limited to 250, but there are copies available.
I think some of these 90s books people just have forgotten completely about. Nobody's going out there chasing them down necessarily. I think the assumption is most of these books are overprinted, but there are some more than a handful of pretty good books to seek out.
Or it's like 5 people knew about it back in the day, and they're like, we're gonna hold all these covers and then sell them later.
Exactly. But not a bad looking comic book. Mm-hmm. All right. I just bring up this book because it's quasi controversial. Harley and Ivy meet Betty and Veronica number 6. Everybody tells me this is a Jen Bartel cover. Now
That's Lotte, bro.
that's Lotte all day, right?
All day.
All day Lotte. But if you look
you
it up,
you Lotte all day.
if you look it up, everywhere you look, Previews World, my comic shop, everybody wants to tell you that this is Jen Bartel.
There's no way.
It's not. I agree. I'm just telling you what got credited. Now, we have a lot of Tula Lotte fans on this show. I get hit up with people talking about her books all the time, so I'm putting that out there for the Lotte fans. What I think what happened is that this was the last issue in the run, if I'm not mistaken. If we go to the next slide, I think they just got lazy at the last issue because this is clearly Jen Bartel.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She clearly did issue number 5. I think there was a copy and paste. People didn't give a shit, and they just ended up crediting. They took the credit away from Lotte and gave it to Bartel in that issue number 6.
These girls artists, they're not going to become any big deals later.
So I am assuming that's what happened, but when I saw that, and it was like, Jen Bartel, I'm like, it is not. It is not.
Well, you can see the style difference too. Like,
oh my God, I mean, it's clear as day. I mean, it's
like Bartel usually is like thicker lines and everything with the shadowing, and just like even the faces, right? Like have that.
I mean, they're not two artists you would ever confuse. Let's be perfectly honest.
Right.
But whatever. This one just kind of made me laugh a little bit, so just threw it out there. I would say that these books are worth grabbing. This series was not crazy high printed in their variants as well, but I grab these when I see them.
And they also have like different like coloring styles and stuff like that.
Bartel, yes, 100%.
Yeah, Bartel versus Lotte. Like Lotte has like that more abstract feel to it, where it's almost
people
like
who aren't even like art aficionados. If I showed you one versus the other, and then brought out 100 of each of their books, you wouldn't miss any of them. You would run 100 for 100. I promise you. Like,
yeah.
Anyways, that one just kind of made me laugh a little bit.
Oh, it's on Lotte's website too. That's awesome. I wonder how many people have brought that book up to Bartel and asked her to sign it.
Can I get your signature on this?
Yeah. Will you sign your book?
I didn't draw that, asshole.
That'd be funny
if
if
a signature series with.
Yeah, I was gonna say that'd be funny with the signature series with the opposite artists on signing each other's book or whatever.
Right.
It'll be worth more.
Yeah. Signing error.
All right, Carter, this was yours, right, man?
Oh yeah. Hellboy: The Golden Army. So we got a beautiful photo cover, and I don't know. I just never paid attention to this before, and then when I saw it and popped up, I'm like, oh, let me throw that at Ben, see what he thinks.
This book is tough to find, man. There were 3 covers, and I think they're all open order. What's interesting about this is of the 142, 122 are signature series. I assume most of them are of Hellboy, right? Because he was on the cover A. But they don't distinguish on CGC. There's just the one listing for the book. And I used to, Summer Blair was awesome. Everybody was a big fan, back in the day.
Yeah, she played Chris Jenner. Or the Kardashian's mom.
Yeah. Good casting. Yeah, but this book, there's not many of these out there. If you go look on eBay, I think there may be one copy of this out there. If I'm not mistaken. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I poked around real quick before the show.
So I do have a funny Selma Blair story. So when I was in college in Houston, I was a part of the theater program. Like I was doing sound tech for them, and I was taking a lot of theater classes and whatever. And then because we were so close to downtown, one of our acting professors, he was actually a professional actor at the Alley Theater, and Selma Blair had a play there. I forget. I think it was like gruesome playground injuries, and she was one of the lead female actors on it. And it was so crazy too, because it was at the Alley Theater, which is the big theater in Houston. But it was in the smaller stage, and then on this stage, the audience sits all around, so it's a 4-sided theater, so you see all angles and stuff like that. So in this play, she takes off her pants in it, and then I'm on the side where it's like right behind her. So she's just like mooning that side of the crowd. I mean, she was wearing underwear and stuff like that, but it was like I was like kind of like, oh wow, she's got some cake.
Greatest.
Were those seats a premium purchase, or are they the same price for everybody, like your seats?
So for the theater stuff, we got free tickets.
No, I'm joking. I was just wondering if the tickets in your section were
extra. I guess you could have sold it that way, right?
So Zabit says even the credits inside that Harley book say Bartel.
Oh, geez,
that's crazy. Thank you for confirming that. Much appreciated. Yeah, I'm just wondering if the seats on the sides went for less than the seats in the front and the back for that show, Aaron. I would just.
I can't see no cakes. Why you can see them cakes? I want to see them cakes.
Too bad you couldn't have phones back then too, right? Just a snap that pic. But because one of my professors was a part of the theater company there, he got to show her around town, and then went out drinking and all that. Yeah.
That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
It's like, hey, have her swing by the school.
All right. We've talked about books from this series before in the show. Scotty Young being as hot as he is. This one's just really well done. Marvel Adventures number 58. Scotty Young cover A. There were about just over 4,000 copies of this book ordered. Now, given that it's a kid's book, right? Probably, not many of these survived, and the ones that did in high grade are even less. But there's just something really cool about this.
If you take off the trade off of this thing and you just look at the art on it doesn't look like a kid's book, right?
Yeah, it's dark, man.
Right? If this were to release right now without any kind of trade or anything on it, it'd be a hot book right now, dude.
Big time. But yeah, I mean, Scotty Young he's as hot as can be right now, deservedly so. Great books, great guy. But some of the stuff from this era really goes for big bucks, and I think these will just pick up steam over time. And these are the shit you can definitely find digging. No questions asked. You can find this stuff when you go digging. So
yeah, just make sure to push out kids out of the way when you're digging through the section.
I think they've long said, sorry, pops, I got no interest in this stuff. But yeah, if there's kids lined up for the kids box, let them go first. But I don't think this is the stuff they're into these days.
You know what? Sorry.
I was just reading his comment. Non-baby youngs, I'm telling you.
Yeah, because I was looking through those Marvel Adventure Spider-Mans, and yeah, those ain't the Scotty Youngs are nowhere to be found.
Yeah, people are wising up to them. But what I would say in general is that 4,300 copies for a Marvel comic book, spread around the country. I mean, they're not going to be plentiful to begin with. You know what I mean? They were sold to kids. So these are going to be tougher books to find. No question. But definitely keep your eyes open for all of these. And he's done far more. But JC Comic stuff, he's a big fan of these. So, you know, he's posted some stuff on his IG recently, I think, about some of the more adult Scotty Young covers. So take a look.
But even if you did find them in like back issues, like unless they were coming from the back room of the comic shop, and you know, if they were just like in some kid's collection, I bet they're all like spine ticked up and all that.
Well, I found some of these that are completely destroyed. They look like the comics I used to buy for my kids. I mean, they're just, you know, you couldn't put more spine ticks on it if you tried.
It's all ticks, no spine.
Yeah, that's right. All right, I saw this the other day, and it just made me laugh. Kind of a tricky book. Captain Planet in the Planeteers #4. This is obviously a Fantastic Four #1 homage, which are collectible in their own right. This is a Ron Friends Cabaret. There are newsstands available for this book. Captain Planet, for those who don't know, was a pretty popular cartoon. Well, that was late 80s when this was out, or early? It must have been late 80s. Or was it early 90s? It was late 80s. It must have been late 80s. Yeah, kind of an obscure comic book, but because Fantastic Four homages are so collectible, just thought I'd throw this one out there.
So which is your favorite cover homage outside of that Planet Comics?
So books that just get homage on the regular, you mean?
Yeah. What stops you in your tracks?
Oh, dude, his is obviously ASM 300.
I mean, you're right, Planet is, but you disqualified that one from the conversation, so I'm going to have to think about it for a minute.
Like, I will always look at a good old Spider-Man #1, like, just because I like that book so much.
AF-15.
Yeah, those are pretty decent.
Like the Deadpool cover, the AF-15 homage is one of my favorite Deadpool covers.
Yeah, that's a fun book for sure. I don't know, man. You put me on the spot there. I got to think about that one for a little bit, because it's definitely Planet Comics. But you took that one off the table.
Which your backup choice?
I don't know. That's not really what I chase, but I'm gonna have to think about that. Let me come back to it. Let me stew on this one for a little bit.
Yeah.
How about yours, Carter? What are you?
You know what? I gotta go with Fantastic Four #1. This is the homage that like really it just stops me. And be like, oh, let me see what's going on with this. There's a series called The Pact with Shadowhawk, Invincible, and a couple other characters, and their first issue is a Fantastic Four #1 homage, and I noticed that goes for a little something. I noticed the Fantastic Four #1 cover swipes kind of go for they go for a little something.
Well, because I think they work well with books that have multiple characters. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
I like when they homage movie posters.
Oh,
like Pulp Fiction, and that's what I get a kick. Hey, wait a minute, that's the Pulp Fiction homage, or Breakfast Club. Club. There's so many good homages to the Breakfast Club. Low key Independence and stuff like that.
Joe, that might be it. Like, I do like Pulp Fiction homages quite a bit. I don't know if that counts, Carter, but like I do. Like when I see them, like those catch my eye.
I do keep my eye out for the 141 homages, even though my brother doesn't collect anymore. I'll still buy them.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, even though like X-Men 1's one of my favorite books of all times, like I don't really like the homage covers that they do for them. They always kind of butcher it, in my opinion.
Yeah, they don't come off as well as the Fantastic Four ones do. I mean, this is not high art, but this one is pretty cool, right? I mean, if you saw this digging, you wouldn't leave it for $1, $2.
Ooh,
Right.
X23 homage of
Oh,
Underworld.
yeah.
That's a good one.
Dude, that thing is impossible to find.
Yeah, I mean I love that book. Love that book.
Oh, but speaking of Fantastic Four homages, I always think of the Simpsons one that they have, because they have the
Yeah.
one that has Homer coming out of the
Yeah,
ground,
it's a cool one.
and then
It's classic.
and then they also have the comic book guy coming out of the ground too.
But you could say like the hip hop variants too, man. When they came out and they were homaging all the albums.
Yeah, those are badass, man.
All right.
All right.
Oh, wow,
Strange
Mannion.
Pirate Tales #1. This is a Steve Mannion cover by Big Hairy Ape in the year 2000. We've talked about Steve Mannion on this show. Some of his books have gone nuts. You should watch our show because we talk about books sometimes that you can find for reasonable prices before they go crazy. But we've been a big fan of him on here since the beginning. This book's towards the obscure end of the spectrum, but just beautiful artwork. The back cover of this is really stunning. Aaron, if you want to go to the next slide, if you don't mind. Just a beautiful back cover by Mannion as well. His stuff is really just fun to read, and his art is no joke. I mean, he's doing his own thing. He's a talented guy. And it has a Dave Stevens vibe to it, and then it's all like super indie stuff for the most part, right? Super independent stuff. Certainly not at that same level, but just a good book. I found this book digging for $1 the other day. I'm like, oh hell yeah, I'm not leaving that thing. So
on this cover, is it a homage to Savage Dragon? The Ball is Beautiful.
Nah, I don't think it's quite there. But this is a book. What is the guy's name? It's like the pirate's name in this is something ridiculous. It's like the pirate brown hole or something like that. He has a ridiculous name, the pirate, in this series. But what I will say is, if you want to chase a ghost, and I've never seen any evidence that it exists, is that there was a preview for this book that came out in black and white. And
Wow.
I can't find an actual picture of it, but supposedly it's out there. So this would be something pretty cool to pick up if you ever saw it. So just putting it on your radar.
Sounds good.
So go raid those LCS back rooms.
Yeah.
If the shop has been around since the 2000s, early 2000s, or even 90s.
Did this book came out during? I think this came out during the pandemic in like 2021. Listen, I know that Roj Besh isn't everybody's cup of tea. I like her stuff. There's just something stylized about it that I think is pretty cool. The colors in this book are pretty awesome. People ask like $20 for this book. So, it's the kind of book I think that you can find if you go digging. But some of these books that came out during the pandemic period, retailers weren't necessarily going crazy with the cover Bs. You had to pay an extra $1 for them, particularly for series. Like, I don't think this was a popular series at all. I think it's gotten hot because I think they're going to base something on it. But a cover like this just kind of flies under the radar. It's the kind of thing you can find in those boxes where they're selling recent moderns for $2. Might not be worth grabbing. Yeah, Brownhole Jones. Chat, that was the guy's name.
So was it, because I remember when they first increased $1 for the B variants, they didn't really change they hadn't changed the cover yet to to that cardstock variant. Was this on cardstock actually though?
Yeah, this was when they're doing the cardstock stuff for sure.
Okay.
For sure. But yeah, it's just a good looking book. Like I said, I get it. Besh is not for everybody. For me, she's much more consistent than Momoko. Much more consistent, but she kind of has that anime style to it that is just kind of fun. But don't go crazy with this one. Like I said, people ask $20 for it, but just keep an eye open if you're digging. It might not be a bad idea to grab one.
Cool stuff. And I believe this was our last book.
That was the last book tonight? Damn, man. I thought I had more. I guess we'll have to wait for a couple of weeks. Hey, real quick. As a reminder, we're giving away this book courtesy of my friends at the Hall of Comics. I was there on Saturday, and they said, hey, you want to give this away on the show? You know, John, Jake, Chris, Manoli, all those guys over there are great. If you ever pop into their store, you're going to find a ton of books to look at. Just go say hi to them. They're good dudes to talk to about comic books, super knowledgeable. This is because of them. They're friends with Chrissy Zulo, and this is an exclusive that she did from her own store. So you got Bubblegum. It's autographed right there by Chrissy Zulo. So we're going to give this away. Just leave a comment on the video, and we will pick it not next week. We're taking the week off. The following week.
Yep. So, but still, make sure you're liked and subscribed to the channel. On Fridays, you can catch Nearing Nerdvana. Saturday is Saturday Morning Toy Box. Monday is Cover Lovers. Tuesday is Comic Book Women. Wednesdays, This Week in Geek. And then you're back here with us on Thursdays. And I want to give a big shout out to our following and viewers for nominating us for the CBC Awards.
Wait a minute, somebody nominated this show?
Yeah, like multiple times. Like Long Story Short it was nominated, and then it said like Nearing Nirvana, the Thursday show.
What the hell is wrong with people, man? Come on, there's got to be better.
I mean, today we had 60 people just tuning in just because, because I guess they like our personalities or something.
We appreciate you for tuning in. No need to nominate us for anything. We're just doing it here because we like talking about comic books. But
I'll get to work on the speech.
the real trouble is like, where do we store the trophy? So
pass it around every 6 weeks.
Every quarter or something like that.
I'm starting to think what we can do for the 100th episode show, man. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, man. Who would have bet on it? We'll take. If you want to leave that in the chat, what should we do on the 100th episode? We didn't get canceled on the 69th, so let's see if we can get it done on the 100th.
Now that was a great show, man.
Go
back and watch that, and you make some money off of that show.
Or are we doing a part 2 of that? Or maybe by then we'll have both DeVoe and Stein on the show.
Oh, we can twist some arms for them to get on that damn show. You can twist some arms.
And we'll have our swag by then. Our shirts.
Oh, too kind. This is the Thursday must watch YouTube.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
$100 books for the 100th episode. We're just gonna keep it 100, as the kids would say, right? For that show. But big shout out again to our sponsors over at Cover Price. Make sure you're using the code Nirvana for the 30-day unlimited membership for only 99 cents. They will also be attending they have a panel on Saturday during San Diego Comic-Con from 4 to 5. So make sure to check that out. And where they'll be discussing the variant age. Is it time for a new era in comics? Mm-hmm. And check out Bird City Comics. I know Little Bird City right now is selling on eBay, but make sure you're signed up for the text alert so you don't miss all those exclusive drops. And then you can use the code Nirvana on their website because they've been dropping absolute heat. I know that they've even leaked out, or not leaked out, but released a few hundred copies of some of their variants for pre-order for those that couldn't make it to the con. But yep. Hot book alert. this week?
Sunday.
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 If you're not watching that show, it's fun. Carter is the main man on that one. We're talking about hot comic book sales from the prior week or so, and it's more comic nonsense if that's what you're into.
I'm trying to sell this. I've got 3 of them, and I'm trying to sell it. I won another one at my job, so like, and I gave away.
What are you asking, Joe? My kid's been looking for one. I'm seriously, I might take it off your hands.
Okay, so we'll talk about that off air. So,
all right.
So people don't get locked into a price.
It's got Spider-Man. It's got Miles.
So we'll figure that out afterwards. So, and then
brand new.
Oh, disrespecting PGX books all night long. I mean, that's
we take a lot of shit for not giving PGX the love they don't deserve.
That Witchblade book, one of those for sale available is a PGX.
So it's got to be like a 3.0.
Something to think about.
I will say this: I have bought a PGX 9.2, cracked it, got it signed, and it bumped up to a 9.8.
Is that better or worse?
What are we doing?
It definitely gives them very good credibility to be a great grading company. I mean, in all seriousness, like, how many people have you actually met that were like diehard fans for PGX, kind of like Dennis is for CBCS or whatever? I think I've met one person that was actually serious about it. I was like, you're just messing with me, right? He's like, no, I seriously send to PGX. I'm like, I was like, why?
Who do you sell to?
I was like, you might as well just sell it raw at that point.
Yeah.
You're paying to sell your book at a discount to raw.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, I was like, you just might as well don't even grade it. But I think Joe and I will be on the Hot 10 tomorrow night for the House of Sign. So make sure to check that out. Or I'm like 50-50 if I'm going to make it or not. I have to work late tomorrow. But if I don't, then I'll try to make it on the show on Saturday for Beyond Wednesday's Modern Comic Mayhem.
All right.
He used to work there. All right, that's pretty funny. All right, y'all have a good night. We won't be on next week, but you should be subscribed to the channel anyways and hit those bells for the notification. But we'll see y'all in 2 weeks for episode 90. Take it easy.
Peace.
Late.